From the stories you want to the answers you need, this is Answer the Call, part of the Sports Nuts Network. We have a great show lined up for everyone today, from March Madness to news around the NFL and some interesting stories around the corner on the Coll Report. You don't want to miss your favorite segment and mine, the return of Call of Fame, Call of Shame, later in the show, guys. We have a great one, but I'm going to hit you guys with a quick intro, and then I'll be right back. Or maybe I won't. Okay.
And pressure again. And as he throws it, lobbed up. Stops, launches deep to the right. He's got touchdown, touchdown. To the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Dan Henley got the ball. Dan Henley. First interception of his career. Supposed score. Knocked it out. A touchdown. Jack Sawyer headed down the sidelines.
If you want to talk ball, I will answer the call. All right, guys, welcome back. I am Tim. I am your host, as always. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to Brandon from the Sports Nuts for inviting me to his network and helping me. I also want to thank him for the guest he introduced me to on the last show. Dan Scott joined us, guys, for a great interview. It was a lot of fun, and Brandon really helped me get that going. So big shout out to Brandon. If you missed the last episode, I definitely recommend you go and check it out. You don't want to miss that interview with Dan Scott. He gave us a behind-the-scenes look at Furman University, talked about his favorite game day foods and a lot more. So that was definitely recommend. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, and on X. So, but the clock is ticking. It's time to answer the call. It's time for the first call, and today's first call is none other than the Coll Report. What better way to kick off the show than some good old-fashioned news in the world of sports? And we got a doozy, guys. We got a doozy. Breaking news in the NFL just a few hours ago. Kirk Cousins is signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, that's right. The Raiders are signing Kirk Cousins. I cannot believe it. What are they doing? It's a 5-year, $172 million, but only the first year is fully guaranteed. So what does this mean for the Raiders heading into the draft? Do they still draft Mendoza? Cousins hated what Atlanta did. You know, they signed him and then they drafted Penix in the first round. Are we going to see a similar situation in Vegas? Or I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine Kirk wanting to go there without the Raiders promising him something. I mean, whether it be starting this year or, you know, the fully guaranteed, but I just can't imagine Kirk Cousins going to the same situation that he just had in Atlanta. So I don't know. This is definitely something to keep an eye on, guys, because we're sitting here. He signs. You know, the Raiders had the first pick in the draft, and this could be a disaster. I mean, this could be maybe Cousins is like, no, I want to be the starter. I don't know. Like, is he going to be a mentor? I mean, he doesn't strike me as that mentor type, but it does make you wonder. What if the Raiders don't take Mendoza? What if they trade back in the draft? What if they decide that they have a lot more pieces than just a quarterback? Because, I mean, yeah, they need quarterback, but I mean, with the pieces that they kind of put around on the offensive line and, you know, short up that defense a little bit, this team could turn it around. Maybe they're like, oh, we need a few more pieces versus a quarterback that may not start right away. Maybe they trade back and get the extra picks, and then they use those extra picks to trade back up into the middle to late first round, and they draft Ty Simpson instead. This, like I said, could be disastrous for the Las Vegas Raiders if not done properly, guys. So, very interesting situation brewing up in Vegas, and I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts on this because I got to tell you, it's kind of a head scratcher to me because I'm sitting here and everybody just assumed that Mendoza's going first overall, and now that may not be the case because we're sitting here. Cousins is the starter, and you got to at least assume that he's the starter for this season with it being fully guaranteed. But like, even if it's not the full season, I mean, you're probably going to go 8, 9, 10 games with Cousins, and then you're going to bring in a rookie. So I'm just really shocked at this, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Drop them in the comments on the social medias, on the clips that I'm going to be posting later. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, though. Should the Raiders still draft Mendoza, or should they go a whole different route? Because with the Cousins there now, I mean, they could open up and maybe they go get Francis Maui Noah instead, really bolster up that offensive line. Because even if they have a top 5 pick next season, I know it's not Mendoza, and you most likely won't get a first overall pick back-to-back years. But the quarterback class next season isn't bad. I mean, Dante Moore, not bad. The Chambliss kid from Ole Miss, not bad. Julian Sayin, if he comes out, Arch Manning, there's a whole long list of other quarterbacks that the Raiders could. And if they brought back Kirk Cousins for that second year, then I think they could really have a shot at, maybe doing something this season with Cousins. So, yeah, like I said, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this, guys, because it's interesting in Las Vegas, to say the least. All right. But we got other news, and we'll come back to it as stuff happens. But there's other news in the Coll Report, guys. Baseball news. The Pittsburgh Pirates are promoting #1 overall prospect Connor Griffin, and he will debut in tomorrow's home opener. Friday, April the 3rd will be the debut of the #1 overall prospect Connor Griffin for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So kudos, man, to making it to the big leagues, and I can't wait to see what you do. When I saw this one, it kind of surprised me, but it kind of doesn't surprise me at the same time. South Carolina lands rugby star offensive line prospect, and I'm going to assume that his name is Neff Jiwa. Could be wrong on that. So if anybody knows how to pronounce this young man's name, please tell me. But he commits to South Carolina despite never playing snap of football before. He was a rugby player, and he's going to go play college football at South Carolina. So I thought that was really interesting, kind of maybe a news that got swept under the rug just a little bit. But here at Answer the Coll, no news is too big or too small. We'll cover it all. So Gary Woodland wins Houston Open for first PGA Tour victory since 2023 when he had brain surgery. Last one in 2019. So Gary, good job, man, winning the Houston Open. So, but that might be a candidate for a segment at the end of the show. Who knows? We have March Madness coming up around the corner, and a return segment everyone loves, Call of Fame, a Call of Shame. So stay tuned for that, guys. In the hockey world, okay, and to everybody that always has listened to the show, I am a primarily football sports show, but I'm trying to sprinkle in a little bit of news and other sports because can't be just a sports show if you're only talking about one. GM Brad Treliving is fired as Maple Leafs GM. The Maple Leafs are on the verge of missing the playoffs for the first time in a decade. First time in a decade, the Maple Leafs might be missing the playoffs. So they're like, hey, bud, you're out of here. So let me know what you guys think about that. That's really interesting there as well. So we have a lot more to talk about. I'm getting caught up here on in the comment section. The thing when you draft a QB, you're getting 5 years to build a roster. That is absolutely right. Especially if you draft him in the first round. If you don't draft him in the first round, you only get 4 years. So I like that. To John from the Pitch Grid Pod. So I went back. I got to tell you this funny story because I went back and I was listening to the last episode. And when I was doing the fan question segment, and when I tried to say Pitch Grid Pod, I was like, pod. Like, like it just like the words wouldn't come out. I was like, pod. And so it was really funny. I might actually start a series of all my mess ups and kind of put it in like a little short clip, like maybe do week to week or month to month or something, and post that on the socials for you guys, because we all mess up. It happens, but I think everybody will get a good laugh out of the mess ups here at Answer the Coll. So the Seahawks will be featured on this summer's Hard Knocks. I mean, that's crazy because usually on Hard Knocks, it goes to like a very dysfunctional organization, Browns, Lions at one point, but now they're having the reigning defending Super Bowl champs, which maybe it's because they lost some of their team and maybe they won't be as great, but the Seattle Seahawks will be featured on this summer's Hard Knocks, guys. Do you guys want to know how much it costs to travel in college football last season? Well, for a few teams like Alabama, Nebraska, and Michigan, they all spent over $1 million on private travel in 2025. That is a wild expense. So $1 million from those 3 schools went to nothing but flying privately. So we had a lot of pro days this week. A lot of pro days, and D'Angelo Pons, the corner of the Indiana Hoosiers that just won the Natty, had an unbelievable 4.3140 at his pro day. Holy cow. I didn't know he was that fast. And, he's kind of a shorter corner, but man, he is fast. So, I mean, could he sneak into the first round? Stay tuned for future episodes because I will be doing more mock drafts and a final mock draft that may or may not include trades that I've never done before. So, Super Bowl 63 will be held in Las Vegas. Might be the only time that the Raiders can celebrate a Super Bowl is have somebody else win it in their stadium. But there's your Patreon content, the bloopers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look at last year's Hard Knocks. They had in the new edition the Colts with Wentz, the Cardinals, the Dolphins. Yeah. See? Kind of a lot of more dysfunctional organizations. So Browns back out of a free agent deal. Okay, so when I saw this, I had to talk about it because just a couple of weeks ago, everybody was losing their minds about the Ravens backing out of a deal. And I made the comment, the only reason that this is being even like a thing is because of the name. Everyone's losing their mind because it was Max Crosby. Well, the Browns back out of a free agent deal. Backed out of a free, I understand it's not a trade, but they backed out of a free agent deal. AJ Epinesa, he failed his physical. It made him feel uncomfortable. So they backed out of it. There you have it, guys. There's a prime example of this happens all the time, but we only made it a big deal because it was Max Crosby. Like I said earlier in the show, no news is too big or too small. I Answer the Coll, and that one probably got swept under the rug. But hey, here I'm a mention it. I'm gonna call that out. So We that kind of wraps up the call report. If you guys have any, I would love to hear it. Love to hear it. Both men's and women's tournaments are in full swing, and we are down to the final four. This March has definitely lived up to the madness. It has been full of chaos, and we have even seen some upsets. What are some of your favorite moments? Watching the back and forth game between Arkansas and High Point was a lot of fun. There's been buzzer beaters, the Cinderellas. But before I get into this, before I get into the March Madness, and what happened this past week, there's still some NFL news I will be talking about in just a moment. I know I came in with the thunder with the Kirk Cousins, but there's still some little bit of NFL news that I think you guys may like. And the last call will be an old favorite of everyone, the Call of Fame, Call of Shame. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, please make sure you're liking, subscribing to the channel. If you're on Facebook, simply like, follow the page, share it with everybody. If you're listening on Spotify later, follow, comment, leave a review. Simple things helps the channel grow in many wonders. I thank you guys for being here, however you may be watching, however you may be listening. It's March Madness, and it's been full of madness. The Lakers have been great. We have the NCAA tournaments going on. We have everything else that's happening. You know, the combine happened at the beginning of the month, and I got to tell you, now we're starting to kind of slow down, in the NFL until we get to the draft. But the Kirk Cousins signing was massive. It was definitely massive. The Vandy Nebraska game was insane. Vandy nearly won with a half court. I remember that. I actually remember that. I just sat there and I was like, oh, it's going in. Oh, that poor kid. Oh man, because like the heartbreak that he had to feel, just sitting there, and he was like, oh, it's in, and then it just like bounces out at the last second. Like, who does that? Come on, that like let the basket fall in, please. I mean, that would have been a lot of fun, I think. But I got to tell you guys, March Madness is in full swing, but it's almost to an end. It is. It's dwindling down. We had UConn winner, over Duke. That was a great game. Michigan Wolverines make their 9th appearance to the Final Four in program history with a dominating win over Tennessee, 95-62. So that happened. Arizona back in Final Four ends a 25-year drought after outscoring Purdue by 22 in the second half. 79-64 is the final score. First Final Four since 2001. How old were you guys the last time Arizona was in the Final Four? I was 2001. I was 14. Yes, I'm a little older, but I was 14 the last time that Arizona made it to the Final Four. Rick Pitino reportedly agreed to a new contract with St. John's, making him the second highest paid coach in the Big East. That actually could have been up in the Coll Report section, but I wanted to save it for the March Madness because it did happen in the month of March. Women Longhorns hold Michigan to just 41 points and advance to second straight Final Four. Women's Bruins headed to the Final Four. And, of course, UConn defeated Notre Dame 70-52. 54th straight win and 25th Final Four appearance. Holy cow. Holy cow, guys. And that kid, Tyler Tanner, is a top 10 NBA prospect. You know who else is probably a top 10 NBA prospect? Darius Acuff from Arkansas. He's got to be. That guy. I feel bad for him because, I mean, he did everything that he could to help Arkansas win. But Arizona just smashed Arkansas. And, yes, I'm still representing. Well, there it is. There it is. I'm still representing. So, I I can't believe that, March Madness, it seems like every year, and I don't know, maybe a more fan of basketball, like a bigger fan of basketball. Maybe it doesn't feel that way for them, but like I know during the NFL season, it seems like the NFL and college football season, I know it seems like it gets started and then just like that, it's over. And March Madness is kind of one of my favorite times of the year. It's definitely where I watch the most college basketball. And I gotta tell you, like, what if like, does it seem like this March Madness is already like kind of went too fast? Because I'm sitting here and it's like, oh, this game happened. Oh, we're in the final four now. Like, what is going on here? Okay. Can we like slow the tournaments down somehow? Because I really have enjoyed the college basketball games that have been played this season. I'm telling you right now, man, this might be, is Arizona the most dominating college team in recent memory, or am I overthinking this? Because, hey, man, it's why we enjoy soccer. Delayed gratification goes on from August to May. Maybe that's why people like baseball so much, is because it goes from April to September. But and basketball goes from, what is it, October to like April, May, June. So, but guys, we still have quite a bit to talk about. So stay tuned. Call of Fame, Call of Shame is going to wrap up the show today, and there are some good ones on there. And I actually will need to pull up this one because I saw it and I was like, oh man, like, and I didn't have time to write it in my notes, but I have it saved somewhere else. But we have a lot of Call of Fame, Call of Shame. And if you are new to the show and you're like, what's this Call of Fame, Call of Shame? It's exactly what it sounds like. Call of Fame, it's a player, coach, somebody that did something extraordinary. Call of Shame, they made a bonehead decision. What were you thinking? Like a come on, man moment. So that is the Call of Fame, Call of Shame. It is still at the end of the show. With free agency winding down, though, in the NFL, there's not a lot happening until the draft, minus Kirk Cousins going to the freaking Raiders. I could spend I could spend the whole show talking about that, but I want to talk about other stuff too. I don't want it to be the focal point of the show. But there are a few stories worth mentioning here. NFL to begin hiring replacement refs as league grows alarmed by NFLPA negotiations. It's beginning to look like we are headed towards a scenario where the NFL and NFLPA won't get a deal done for the refs in time. The NFL hiring replacement refs is a move to make sure that they start their training before the season starts. At this point, let's not have any refs. Let's just rely on technology to do it for them. This is a bad situation, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon, guys. So we have replacement refs coming to the NFL. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I mean, with how advanced technology is, why don't we just have a person up there and they're checking the replay? Oh, no foul. Okay, I don't need to buzz down and let it go on. I at this point, because are you going to be able to get the refs trained in time? Like, are they going to get the proper training? I don't know how long it takes a ref to be trained to call a game in the NFL. I mean, does it take a simple month, or does it take 6 months? Does it take like years? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, guys. But like I said, this looks like a bad situation, and it is one that we're gonna have to monitor because, like I said, it's not looking good, and there is no end in sight right now. I mean, that's why they passed the rule to have HQ step in for calls. Yeah, you're right. I mean, now you said it on your last show, John. You were talking about the rule changes. So NFL partners with TMRW Sports I'm assuming that means tomorrow's sports, but I mean, we'll just say TMRW. To develop a pro flag football league, investors like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Serena Williams. So, what does this mean? Does it mean more football? Does it mean we could get back to the contact like it used to be? It feels like it could be good if done right. It also feels like a move to get prepared for the 2028 Olympics. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is this a great move, or will it end up hurting the NFL? Will this is this going to be kind of the slow demise of the NFL? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that, guys. Woo! We are rolling. We actually we are rolling through this one. And we're gonna go back to the Kirk Cousins thing for a little bit, for a minute. You like that? I don't know, man. Kirk Cousins to the Raiders. Come on, guys. Like, I want to hear your guys' thoughts because this doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound good at all. And we can't be having that. I don't know. So union says players need trained professional officials as league floats plan for replacements amid labor negotiations. So that's kind of going back to the replacement refs. There was a goalie fight at Madison Square Garden. That's cool. D'Angelo Pons. Where do you think D'Angelo Pons would fit? You know, we just talked about him in the Coll Report. Could he be, I don't know, can he sneak into the first round? Could he sneak into the first round? Is he going to be like a round 2 pick? I mean, I honestly, as a Chargers fan, I would love to draft him at 55th overall if he's still there. If he's still there at 55, I would love it. I would love it. I need to see more before I have my thoughts on the Flag Football League. I still can't get over that Kirk Cousins. So the NFL is doing away with Monday Night Football doubleheaders. There will be no more doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. I kind of like this move. And I'm going to tell you why. It always seems like one game is really good and one game is really bad anyway. Or we are blessed and we have two different games, two great games. Now, the problem with that is not everybody has means to watching in multi-view, or, maybe they're watching on their phone or something. And so then they had to try to go back and forth between two good games. I don't know, plus the whole Monday, Monday to Sunday short schedule. We already know how it is Sunday to Thursday. The less teams on a short schedule, the better. And I don't know. Honestly, my draft crush right now is Chandler Rivers. I remember that post that you did. I love no more doubleheaders. However, the root cause behind it is getting more teams to play more short week games, but without the short week designation. Yeah. They're doing away with it. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I forgot to put this in my notes, but the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2027 will play their home games in Orlando as their new stadium is being built, guys. So we have that, but we are going to move right along. And it's time for the last call. Today's last call is an old segment that I want to bring back. It's everyone's favorite, yours and mine. This is where players, coaches, media can either get recognized for something really good, Call of Fame, or something really bad, Call of Shame. If you have one you think is worthy of making the show, send it to me. Drop it in the comment section. Find me on all the social media platforms, and you can also email me at answerthecoll answerthecoll@gmail.com. Answer the call, COLL at gmail.com. Send me either clips or a description of what happened and why you are nominating that person to be a candidate of Call of Fame, Call of Shame. We talked a little bit about this earlier, and that is the women's UConn win 54 straight as they beat Notre Dame to advance to their 25th Final Four. Holy cow, that is unheard of. Like 54 straight games in any sport is insane. I mean, you're definitely not seeing it in football these days. Basketball, like NBA, it's like, like teams get on hot streaks, 10, 11, 12 games, but 54 straight games the women's UConn has won. 25th Final Four. Call of Fame. Call of Fame. They are making the Call of Fame. And also, guys, I want to try to keep track of this because I want to, at the end of the year, maybe do like a post or like a video where you guys vote on the top 10 or I'll put like the top 5, top 10 that, either you guys have nominated or I've nominated myself, and we'll vote on it and see who is the number 1 overall Call of Fame and the number 1 overall Call of Shame for the 2026 Raptors. In NBA, the Raptors, the Toronto Raptors, set an NBA record with longest unanswered run, 31-0 versus Magic. Now, it can't all be fun, right? I mean, it's called Call of Fame, Call of Shame, so we got to have a little bit of shame. And here's a candidate that is definitely worthy of it, and that is Mr. Aaron Glenn. He believes Geno Smith can lead them to the promised land and be MVP type caliber player. He believes so much in Geno Smith that he thinks that. He actually said that he will be the starting quarterback in 2026. Geno Smith. I get it. He's had a great run. He had a great run. BRB, guys, I need to plug my laptop in. All right. Sorry for that quick delay. I am nominating myself for Call of Shame. I didn't plug my laptop in, and it almost died during this live show. So, Call of Fame goes to this guy right here. But, like I was saying, how can you believe in Geno Smith? Geno is a great bridge quarterback at best. He's going to win you some games. Might even make the playoffs. Not the Jets. Not with the Jets. But he might win some games, and he might, carry the team a little bit. He says that until the Jets draft Mendoza. Absolutely. Absolutely. I still can't get over D3 girls team that won 91 straight. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. So there you have it. The D3 girls that won 91 straight. Definitely Call of Fame. So I just don't know. How do you believe in Geno Smith? I get it. They wrote him off. He didn't write back. I get it. But this isn't the same Geno Smith. The Jets are not the same. They're not the Seahawks. And we saw what he did last season. There's a reason that the Raiders were like, hey, we'll send you away. You're not part of our future. Because they could have easily kept him, and he could have been the mentor to Mendoza, Ty Simpson, whatever other quarterback you want to draft. But no, they decided not to, and they traded him away. So Aaron Glenn, I don't know. I don't know. Also, Jets call a shame because like the Raiders were actually about to release Geno before you traded for him. So no other team wanted Geno Smith. No other team wanted him. I promise you that. I can promise you no other team wanted that for you. All right. The Lakers had a great month of March, including LeBron James, who is now the all-time leader in wins. 1,229 wins, 1,229 wins, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Great company to be in, the all-time wins leader in NBA history. But that's not the only one. Luka joins Michael Jordan. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Luka joins Michael Jordan as only players in NBA history to score 600 points in the month of March. So Luka he also becomes the third youngest player to reach 15,000 career points at 27 years and 31 days old. Big shout out to Luka dominating the league this season, and LeBron and Luka making the Hall of Fame. But we're not done there, guys. JJ Redick earns a 100th career win. First Lakers coach since Phil Jackson to have back-to-back 50-win seasons. Somebody reached 5,000 career points, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that name because, well, y'all would probably make fun of me. So we're just going to say number 28 on the Lakers, and basketball fans, you'll know who I'm talking about. So the Lakers had a really good month of March. LeBron, Luka, JJ Redick, great month of March. So the whole team, Lakers, LeBron, Luka, Hall of Fame, well deserved. And you can love LeBron or you can hate LeBron, but you have to respect LeBron James and the fact that he has been able to play at such a high level for so long. He got drafted in what, 2003? I was still in high school whenever LeBron James got drafted. So you have to respect him. You have to respect him. So LeBron James has more wins than anyone in NBA history. Call of Fame. I cannot leave this man out. Goes to Braylon Mullins, hitting the dagger with 0.3 seconds left and giving UConn the win over Duke. That buzzer beater was crazy. Also, if you're Duke, how do you, I understand that there was a screen involved, but how do you allow him that wide open? And I get it, 35 feet. You don't expect anybody just to make it, especially when time's running out like that. But the adrenaline's pumping, and he got the shot off, and it was just boom in, and dagger ends Duke's season. Which, by the way, I already said that they were the luckiest team in the tournament, and people thought I was crazy. They barely survived number 16 Siena. They were losing at one point by double digits to TCU. I understand they came back and really whooped up on TCU, but at one point they were down. So in the first two games, there were plenty of opportunities that they could have lost that game, and if it would have been anybody else, they would have lost the game. Then their luck runs out, and Braylon Mullins hits the dagger. So we saw a lot of buzzer beaters. And I had Dan Scott on last week or earlier this week, sorry. I put him on the hot seat, and I was like, buzzer beater or game saving block. What would you prefer? A lot of people said buzzer beater, but I want to ask, is the game saving block not entertaining? Because maybe it's because I'm a defensive guy anyway. Speaking of defense did not show up on Tuesday night in the NBA. That was insane. Did you guys hear about that? It was something crazy. I don't know if I still have it in my, no defense. 76ers score 153. The Celtics drop 53 in 12 minutes. Knicks score 48 and a quarter, and Pacers with 83 and a half. Like, what is going on, and why was there no defense being played in the NBA? So I just like, I'm a defensive guy, so I like a game saving block, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you prefer a game saving block or the good old fashioned buzzer beater? Also, another hot seat question was, what's your favorite game day food? He said popcorn. You'll have to go check out the full interview for the rest of the questions, but he said popcorn, and I want to know your guys's. I heard nachos, like on social media. I heard nachos. I heard, hot dogs. I heard a few different answers, but mine, I'm a sucker for a good old burger. Like, it just seems like I'm always wanting a burger. Always wanting a burger. I am a sucker for good nachos. If the nachos are good. Now, I grew up 2 hours south of Kansas City. Kansas City's known for their barbecue. They have great barbecue. So I'm also a sucker for some really good barbecue. So give me some pretzels and cheese. Oh, okay. All right. I see you. I see you. Some good old pretzels and cheese. Guys, we wrapped up the Call of Fame, Call of Shame, and now we're just gonna kind of, if there's any breaking news or stuff like that, we're gonna kind of just talk about it. And we're going to hang out for a few. Those that are listening on Spotify, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and X right now. So I'm engaging with the chat. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following on all social media platforms. I do fun segments. I do fun, on Fridays. So tomorrow, be looking out for the call log. I'll be posting it on Instagram, X, maybe TikTok. I don't know. Primarily on Instagram, but the call log where you can submit your questions and I could answer them on the next live show. I gotta go wings. I gotta go with some wings. I can dig some wings. I can dig it. Kings versus Predators in a huge game in the NHL wild card race tonight. Ooh. Give me. I don't know much about either team. Give me the Predators. Give me the Predators. I'm predicting the Predators. I don't even know who they are, what their record is. If that's a good call, is that a good call or is that a bad call? Because I am taking the Predators tonight. Oh yeah, wings are definitely a solid choice. But yeah, to the listening audience, find me on all the social media platforms. I do fan engaged segments all the time. I have you can submit the Call of Fame, Call of Shame worthy candidates, the call log, where I will answer your questions on the next live. Where are they from? Where are they from? And also, I've been slacking on it, but I really want to get back to the trivia, the Beat the Call, where I'll post a trivia and you try to answer it without Googling before the time runs out. So, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up, though. I mean, Kirk Cousins, though. Kirk Cousins is a Raider. This is Thursday, April 2nd, and Kirk Cousins is a Raider. We're not talking – Minnesota, where I thought he could go back to before they signed Kyler Murray. I thought he was going to wait it out and pick for Pittsburgh to see if Aaron Rodgers was going to do a Kirk Cousins ramble. What do you want me to ramble about? I covered a lot of Kirk Cousins at the top of the show. I talked a lot about Kurt in the top of the show, guys. You missed it. If you missed it, you definitely go back and watch the beginning of it because it was a lot. Kirk Cousins to the Raiders. How does that affect Mendoza? How does that affect the Raiders draft plan? I do know that I believe Mendoza is scheduled to meet with the Raiders tonight. They are scheduled to meet tonight. So That could. Oh, hey guys, here's something I wanted to talk about. And I forgot. So NCAA is trying to propose a rule that would eliminate players from coming back after going to the professional draft. So once they declare for the draft, they would no longer be able to go back to college. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because you said you could talk all show. I am talking all show. I mean, just because I normally do an hour doesn't mean I only have to do an hour. Oh, Kirk Cousins. I could talk Cousins all day. I mean, I probably could, but I also don't want to bore everybody with Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins. The guy is like, the guy should be locked up. Okay. I will ramble on this for a minute. He should be locked up because actually his agent should be locked up because his agent has stolen more money from organizations than any player in history. Kirk Cousins has to be the most paid guy for doing nothing. I mean, just an average guy, making my team average at best and making a lot of money doing it. Like, yeah, you're right. It's basically the NCAA being butthurt that Chambliss won his lawsuit. You know, they were not going to allow him to come back, and then all of a sudden he won the lawsuit. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what it stems to. But also, I don't know. I don't know how you can declare one person having eligibility, like this much eligibility, but this person only gets this much eligibility. I think it just needs to be solid. And um, to kind of add to that, like if you already earned your degree, you should not be able to play sports. Like if you have already graduated, you should have to leave college. You can't play. You can't play football. You can't play basketball. Go to the professionals at that point because all you're doing is just you're kind of like that old uncle that just likes to hang around at young teenage parties and or young college parties, and nobody wants to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't hang around just so you can beat up on the competition because you're older, stronger, faster than everybody. So Uncle Rico style, yes. All right, guys. That was a great show. Wow, what a show that was, guys. However you may have watched, however you may have listened, thank you for making this show part of your day. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, subscribe, tap on the bell so you never miss a notification on when I'm going live. You can also find me on Spotify. Leave a rating and share with someone who loves the game as much as you do. It helps the channel tremendously. You can also find me on Facebook and all other social media platforms for short clips and different posts to engage in. Guys, I'm Tim Collins. I'll see you the next time. And remember, talk ball with Answer the Coll. Have a good night, guys.